Hello, guys and ghouls. Welcome back to Fear Given and Rethemed. We are your hosts, Casey and Sean. For those of you that this is your first episode, we talk about haunted attractions, oddities, and all things horror. Today's episode, we are continuing our reviews into found footage horror with the movie franchise Hell House LLC. This movie is pretty much right up our alley, obviously, so we're excited to talk about it with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you say yeah after every time I say that.
Probably.
The intro.
It's my go-to.
So we decided to continue with our found footage horror. Last time we did Paranormal Activity.
Not intentionally, but...
No, not intentionally, but we found this series a while ago, but...
Yeah, we had watched the first one and maybe the second one.
Yeah.
We definitely hadn't watched the third before.
No, and I didn't really like them to start with, but this second time around, I actually really like them. So what we're going to do, there's, how many of them? 4 of them, right?
Yep.
So there's 4 movie series, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all named differently. So we will go through the first one, and then we'll talk about our, opinions on it, and then we'll just go to the second one.
Cool.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start off, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the first one is Hell House LLC, and this was it came out in 2015. And the overview says, 5 years after an unexplained malfunction causes the death of 15 tour goers and staff on the opening night of a Halloween haunted house tour, a documentary crew travels back to the scene of the tragedy to find out what really happened. This IMDb rating was 6.4 out of 10. So, not too bad. Right?
No, what was your personal rating of it?
I'd put a 7.5 out of 10.
I put 6 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah, so they split us right down the middle.
Okay. So, already I'm interested in this, when I read that, because it's a film about a haunted house opening night that goes bad. So weird things start happening and people are murdered. So I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool because that's actually realistic and scary.
Yeah, that's one of your biggest fears you've talked about whenever we go through haunted attractions.
Especially when we went to Halloween Horror Nights and they did The Purge.
Ooh,
oh my gosh, I was so scared because I was like, what if it or if they have a scream thing or something like that. I feel like, how do you know if it's true or not? How do you know?
Yeah, that's part of the thrill, I think.
I know, but it's how do you, know? I don't know, it's crazy. But, yeah, so my initial reaction to this group wanting to turn the old abandoned house or old abandoned hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it said that, did it? In the thing?
It's a hotel.
Yeah, so it's a hotel, and what they do is, I guess they have a group of I don't know, 7 people.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think.
Okay.
I think it was 4 guys and a girl.
Okay. And essentially, they go and they find a not haunted. It's
It was just an abandoned.
Yeah,
hotel.
they didn't know it was haunted.
Mm-mm. Well. Most of the crew didn't know it was haunted.
That's true. The one person
was
did.
It Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was well aware, I believe, based on follow-up movies.
I can see my breath.
Yeah, it's freezing.
Yeah, it's super cold. So, yeah, my initial thought was, wow, that's really dumb that you would want to do that. But then from our perspective of having actually had a haunted house...
Yeah.
Or a home haunt, it's the perfect opportunity that I would have taken and ran with.
Oh yeah, it hits a little different when you can kind of feel their struggles and kind of how much they've put into it, probably financially, time invested, cast. They moved from, what was it, upstate New York to Avedon? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they had a lot riding on this.
Yeah, but there's not much renovation that you'd have to do.
No, but there's a lot of props and effects and
camera
camera systems just for the insurance and security part of it.
Right. And you said that they didn't know it was haunted. Well, at least most of them didn't. Mm-hmm. But when they went into the You good?
Mhm.
When they went into the basement and they saw all the satanic symbols and like an old Bible and
Yeah.
just weird stuff, you would think they'd be like, all right, peace out, we're done.
But I think you only have that perspective of it being kind of adverse to you if you're on the flip side of that. Like if you're not, if you don't go to church or if you don't have any religion backing you,
Yeah,
then you may walk into that and be like, whatever. Like if
it's
you're
true.
not taking God seriously, what reason do you really have to take
That's
any
true.
satanic images seriously?
Well, we would have been like, or I at least would have been like, yeah, nope,
Yeah, it would
peace.
have at the very least been painted over.
We're stupid, but we ain't that stupid.
Right.
I mean, we're pretty stupid, but
I thought the acting in this first one was better than I anticipated.
yeah, so the acting was
For a
not
starter
bad.
found footage film, it's one of the first like major productions from the editor or from the director.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it had a really good plot. I thought it was relatable. I thought it was realistic enough,
Yeah.
at least for the most part. The initial premise was believable.
Yeah.
I think it spiraled near the end and then going into the second and third movie. But
Yeah, we'll get
That's
to
alright.
that. But I think the creepiness for me was that, I mean, it could happen. Like,
yeah,
the scariest part to me was not even like the creepy, like, camera moves or like clowns or anything like that,
hmm
was when they were in the line. Like, there was, they had a lot of guests like coming
yeah,
through
the
and
queue.
going through in the queue. And then they get to the basement and then they're like screaming, like, go back, go back. Like,
Yeah,
you don't know what's happening. Like,
no,
if I were in that situation, I would have been like, okay, somebody got stabbed or somebody
yeah,
had a gun or something like that, or there's a fight. But no, they're like,
yeah. You don't realize that.
so
You just think
creepy.
an event is happening,
Mm-hmm.
holding up the line, but you don't realize like the line is terminated down there. Like there's no escaping.
Right. And
Like
did they
that's
not think about that? Like, what were they gonna do?
there's
How
a
do you,
side door.
there
There's a
is?
side door out of the basement,
Okay, I
and
missed that.
yeah, I think Mac asked them. They were like, "I thought we unlocked that door," and they're like, "No,"
Oh.
or
Yeah.
they did, but they
Well, they didn't want to go down in the basement because of what was happening. Because
well,
of the
I think
dark
when they were
the
watching the cameras, they
oh.
were like, "I thought that door was unlocked. Why is it?" So I don't know if it's.
Hmm.
I don't know if they really say definitively it was the door that was locked or nobody wanted to go past the hooded
Yeah.
people.
Oh,
I mean,
so
either way.
yeah, so scary. But like,
So that what was your scariest scene? Was that walking down to the
yes.
and kind of seeing the line had stopped and something was going on?
Yeah, other than the part where the guy, I don't remember which one, but he goes into the he's like filming like an empty house, or he's walking to the house and he's filming it,
Mm.
and he's like talking to himself or talking to the camera, and then he like all of a sudden the clown pops up and
Oh
he's
yeah, yeah.
standing there and he's like, man, why are you, like, his
But
friend was
he's
like,
like
why are you
face.
messing
The
with
clown
me?
is faced away.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
clown's face away and then he turns and he's like, oh man, no. And so he
yeah. The
like,
camera pans away. I've got this one written down as one of my favorite scenes. The camera pans away,
mm-hmm.
comes back, and all of a sudden the clown is still standing, like perpendicular to him,
Yeah.
but his head is turned.
Oh, so,
And with these dummies, they made it a big deal that you can't position the heads. You can't
mm-mm.
like, what's the word? You can't manipulate them
Yeah.
and make them kind of do specific things.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know how they, like, nobody really thought about, that's weird. The dummy's standing.
Right. I didn't think about that either
But
until
I
you
don't.
just said that. Like, how did they even?
So that wasn't my scariest scene. That was one of the top three, or top two, I guess. But my favorite scene of this whole franchise, I think, and the scariest one in the first movie especially, was when Paul, which is I think is one of the first of the group to actually disappear or for something to happen to him directly.
Yeah.
So he's in his bedroom and he's been recording kind of every so often when he wakes up at night. And this time he woke up and turned the camera on and sorry, just looked weird.
No, I just wanted to make sure we were actually recording.
I think so.
Okay.
Hope so. If not, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So he, in the middle of the night, he wakes up, turns the recorder on, and he looks from underneath the sheets, and he sees this like creepy, possessed, cut up girl
Yeah.
pretty far away in the room.
Yeah.
So your go-to move is if they can't see you, you can't see them, or you can't see them, they can't see you.
Mm-hmm.
So he puts the covers down, lifts them up, she gets a little closer. And I think he does like 3 or 4
Oh,
attempts.
I hate that.
And the very last one, she like lunges at him, her face.
Mm-hmm.
And fun fact, so there's a website called where'sthejump.com.
Where's the jump?
Where's the jump? So like where's the jump scare?
Oh, okay.
So this is listed as the official scariest scene of the franchise.
I could get behind that.
Yeah.
It was, I think you jumped whenever.
Oh yeah, absolutely I did.
That was funny. Yeah, so the clowns in the basement were scary too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought it was overall a more creepier found footage film other than Paranormal Activity. Like, I thought it was way creepier than Paranormal Activity.
What?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's because of the clowns.
Probably. That makes sense.
I mean, to me. Like, I know I said I don't,
Oh,
it doesn't scare me, but...
One effect, because I was focused on a lot of the tech that they were using throughout the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I thought was really cool was they used strobe lighting in one of the hallways, but instead of having one single source strobe light going, they had like 3 or 4 or 5 of them scattered throughout that hallway, all going at different rates and at different times or intervals. So that was really, really cool. It lit up the hallway more consistently, but I still think it was kind of neat because it was a little more discombobulating.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
It was, I mean, even watching it, it was
Right.
like,
Yeah.
oh, you don't want to walk down that hallway because you don't know what's going to pop out. Yeah, and the thing about this movie is, like, with Paranormal Activity, you can pretty much, like, figure out that it's not, like, actually real. Like, it's not an actual found footage history or whatever.
Yeah.
But with this one, I had to be like, what, is this actually, like, did this actually happen? Because...
Yeah,
it
you
just
didn't really
looks
know
so...
until the end. And then
Right.
you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. This one, I don't know that it was more well done than Paranormal Activity. But
No,
I think
I would agree
I
with
think
that.
there are definitely pros and cons for each of them, different franchises.
Yeah. Now, the reviews on IMDb on this movie are actually really good. I saw that a lot of people were surprised by how good this movie was and how it seemingly just popped out of nowhere. Like, nobody was expecting this weird movie, found footage movie.
Essentially a no-name director.
I know.
It came to a film festival. I think the first one was... I'm not going to remember the... I listened to an interview with the director today, and he talked about it. But yeah, nobody really expected much, and it killed at the film festival.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't research how much, like, revenue it made.
I don't know.
But now I'm curious to go back and look at that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It definitely didn't
solid.
beat Paranormal Activity, but...
Oh, okay. Well, solid movie. Solid start.
Yes.
But then we get to the second movie.
Yeah. So the
and
second...
that's where it goes downhill.
The second one is Hell House LLC, the Abaddon Hotel. The overview for this one from IMDb is...
Oh, sorry. This came out in 2018.
Perfect. So 3 years later in terms of release dates?
Yeah.
Okay. So the overview for the second movie is... It's been 8 years since the opening night tragedy of Hell House LLC, and still many unanswered questions remain. Thanks to an anonymous tip, investigative journalist Jessica Fox is convinced that key evidence is hidden inside the abandoned Abaddon Hotel, evidence that will shed light on the hotel's mysteries. She assembles a team equally hungry for answers with one goal: break into the hotel and discover the truth.
So what was the IMDb rating on this?
I don't know. You didn't give me those notes.
I didn't? Oh.
Nope. You
I
gave me a
should've.
blank template and said, make your own notes, son.
You're right. I did.
I have my score.
My bad. Okay, so the IMDb rating was 5.3 out of 10.
I gave it a 5 out of 10.
I gave it a 4.5 out of 10.
Okay. All right.
So
That's
this
not
one
crazy.
was really bad.
What gave it the last half?
What do you mean?
Like, why didn't you just do 4 out of 10?
I don't know. I don't know. I felt bad, so I just gave him a half.
That's fair. All right, so for me, this one, I had high hopes. I wanted
I know.
the
After the
follow-up
first
to
one,
be
I was
really
like,
good.
"Oh, this is gonna be good,"
Right.
and I was like, "Womp womp womp."
It wasn't
It,
the worst movie of the
the
franchise.
acting was just
The
awful.
acting got worse. I
Yes.
thought Brock Davies, the psychic of the medium, I thought he was good.
Yeah.
He was annoying, and I didn't like his character. But I thought, in terms of acting, he was over the top. Like if Nicolas Cage was going to star
Ugh.
in this movie and be
Why
over
would
the
you even
top,
say that?
that's
I can't
that's what
stand Nick
the
Cage.
psychic reminded me of. Was that over the top, larger than life? Like you know your character and you're just acting it out.
Yeah.
Um, my favorite quote in this one, and I guess I didn't write down who said it, but I know it was near the end, and it was just, "You should go there."
Yeah. I feel like a lot of
Talking
people
about,
say that. Said
they
that.
do, and it's usually the possessed people,
I don't remember who
because the
said that either.
house essentially lets one survivor go. We learn in this movie they
Right.
always let one survivor go so that they can kind of be the next
Trick
domino in
them.
line.
Yeah. Trick them
Right.
into coming into
To
the
get the
house.
next group.
Mm-hmm.
So in this one, wasn't it the journalist Jessica, or was it?
I don't remember.
I don't know. I want to say she's the one that says at the very end, "You should go there," talking about the Abaddon Hotel,
Yeah.
and talking to
Oh yeah, because she's giving. So it's basically like a documentary slash.
again,
Yeah. So it's like a documentary
but it's like
within a found footage.
right.
So it's not like
taking
Paranormal Activity.
the original story and they're going through like a TV panel with the alleged mayor or governor of the town. I think mayor of the town.
Yeah.
Which isn't really the mayor of the town.
No.
Spoiler alert, but he's really. Do you remember his name?
Peter, I don't know.
Andrew Tully was the hotel's founder.
I don't know where Peter came from, but
Oh, I've been watching TV a lot, and Peter's a common name in there.
what? From when?
From The Chosen.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So,
Jeez.
so some of the characters actually annoyed me in this one. Like
Understandably.
most of them did. Just I don't know if it was because of the bad acting
I didn't
or
like Mitchell, which should have been.
he was actually not bad for me.
I like him. Did you like Jessica?
No.
What? I didn't think she was that bad.
They were all really terrible
She
actors.
started off annoying, but then I think she toned down a little bit.
We also find out where the piano tune comes from and how it relates to the story. Right?
Kind of. We hear it more, but we don't get the full background.
Oh, right. Not the
Until
full
the fourth
background,
one.
but we figure out where, like in the movie, we're like, what is that? Like, do it? How does it go?
So the notes are E, G, F sharp, E, G, F sharp, E, G, F sharp, G, A, G, F sharp.
Okay, that makes no sense to me.
I
But
know. So
we're
it's not that difficult to figure out. It's 4 notes total, and 3 of them repeat for like 2 measures. And then
yeah.
it switches, and then it goes back.
So we're gonna play that at the end of this episode.
Are we?
Yeah.
I don't think we're allowed to do that.
We're not.
I'm gonna guess probably not. Plus, I really like our theme music because I wrote it. So
Well, guess what? Instead of copyright, you can do the piano thing, and then you can record it yourself, and then you can put it on
we
there.
already don't have a big following. We don't need to get shut down now.
Oh, fine. No fun.
Did you have any scary scenes that stuck out to you on this one?
No. It did. I mean, it had some creepy moments, but it wasn't as near as good as the first one. I feel like it was all the same stuff.
I agree.
Like the turning of the heads, and then like
what I thought was a little different in this one, yeah. So in this one, the scariest scene to me was they find out about the missing girl. I don't remember her name. She was super tall. She looks like an athlete or like a runner or something.
Mm-hmm.
So she is in the basement. Do you remember that? It's near the very end, and she comes out. She looks like a big monster, and she has like the whited out eyes, like the contacts.
Yes.
And looks like
yeah.
not demonic. She just looks like gangly because she's really tall and long arms, long legs. They call that. So
Yeah.
that creeped me out. They use the whited out eyes, like the contact effects, pretty often in this one.
Yeah, those are creepy. I found a review that summed it up like what I thought about it pretty much, so I'll
Mm-hmm.
read that. Somebody said, if it's a trilogy, not sure why. When you explain too much, the fears tend to diminish, and this film became a lot of talk, a lot of don't show, when it should really be show, don't tell. I sensed a lot of filler and then no climax. And really, zero scares, so jump cuts were added. If a third is made, I hope it mirrors the tone and acting of the first. He had
They
high
would be
hopes
so
for that.
disappointed.
I know.
So I agree. Something I found as an issue with the first one and the second one, and it's probably just a personal thing, but when we watch scary movies like the Conjuring series or well-known franchises, I think we both find ourselves looking in the background of the
Yeah.
shots, because in like the Conjuring one, on the bookshelf in one of the scenes, they spell out Valak for the nun's name, or the demon possessing the nun's name.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until I was sitting there watching it on the couch one day, and then I had to pause it, rewind it,
I mean,
record
after
it, and send
you
it to you.
watched movies like that for like a long time, like you just keep rewatching them,
Yeah.
you're gonna find little things like
Right.
that.
So in this one, the whole time we're watching it, I'm not really focused on the main character in that scene sequence.
Yeah.
I'm looking in the background to see, is there a shadow over there? Is there an outline over there? And this movie took away all the fun, because if you saw it, the very next scene was them stopping, showing that footage, and then doing all but circling it with markup to show you what you're supposed to be looking at and what you missed.
I know, that was really
And that's
annoying.
no fun to me.
I know. Sorry.
Because
have
I
to
would do it, and
my
then
notes.
I'd go back and rewind it and be like, did you see that? And you're like, no, I didn't see it. And then we'd rewatch it, and then right after that, it would cut to the scene showing you. So I was like, what was the point?
Sometimes I do like that though. I appreciate it because I'm like, well, where did that come from? Like, what? I have to really think about it, and then it like already
Yeah.
answers my question. I also found another funny. It's a very negative review, but I wanted to share it because it's kind of funny and it made me laugh today.
All right.
It says, sorry. I don't know where to start. This film is so terrible. The acting is atrocious, stiff, and phony. I feel like I could have acted better, and I have no acting skills whatsoever and have anxiety on top of that. The logic of this film is ridiculous and makes no sense. I will say that I found the original film very good and above average for this genre, and I was highly anticipating the sequel. Again, this film is completely wretched. Just stay away from it and save an hour and a half of your life and do something different. Everyone involved in this project should be highly ashamed. I don't know why it's so funny. Should be highly ashamed and embarrassed of themselves. 2 thumbs down.
I didn't think it was that bad. All right. On that note,
Thanks,
let's
person
go
whoever
to
made me laugh today. I needed that.
the third in the series.
Okay. Okay, so this one is called Hell House LLC Lake of Fire, and it came out in 2019, so a year later. I don't know why it only took them a year, but
I mean,
you'll see.
I know why it took them a year.
You'll see. So 9 years after the tragic events of Hell House, the Abaddon Hotel will once again be open to the public. Billionaire Russell Wynn has taken his audience interactive show, Insomnia, into the abandoned hotel. Russell invites journalist Vanessa Shepard to film an exclusive behind-the-scenes documentary of the production. What she uncovers will shed light on Russell's true intentions for relocating his show to the Abaddon and the evil waiting to be unleashed. And the rating for IMDb was... Do you want to guess?
Yeah, I think it's going to match mine because I've been pretty spot on so far.
Okay.
So my rating was a 2 out of 10.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I did not like this movie.
Oh.
And that takes a lot.
Okay,
for me.
so no, it was 5.1 out of 10.
This was higher than 2?
Yeah.
What's your rating on this?
5.
What?
Yeah. I actually liked it a lot better than the second one.
Okay. So, since you loved it so much...
I did not love it. I did not say that.
What were your highlights?
So, the acting didn't get worse, but it also didn't get better.
Okay, I think it got
So,
worse, but all right.
So I didn't know how to sum up this review, like a review, so I took somebody else's again. Yeah.
This is like 3 for 3.
I know. I don't know if it's laziness or like I kept reading reviews and I'm like, that's exactly what I want to say, but I don't know how to say
Why don't
it.
you write your review first and then look at reviews?
You know what? Maybe I'll do that next time. So, in conclusion, this movie is unfortunately the weakest of the three. Agreed. I think that it has a better setup for what they were going for the previous one, but this one is a bit too concerned with making sure you understand everything that they're wrapping up. I still like some of the story elements they have going here. The climax works and the acting is solid in bringing these characters to life. I don't really necessarily agree with
I
that.
didn't like the resolution at the end.
Yeah, that was weird. The practical effects are also good, while the
What?
CGI just really hurt the movie.
The practical effects were good?
That's what they said.
Mm.
I also, maybe I didn't agree with this person. What am I
It doesn't
doing?
sound like it.
I also think that the soundtrack and design there work well with building tension when needed. Overall, though, I'd say this movie is above average for me, though. It does enough to keep me engaged, but falls short of what they're going for story wise.
This was the first one that had background music for
Really?
scenes, I believe.
I didn't notice
Because I
that.
think it started and we both looked at each other and went, "What is that?" If
Oh,
this is
you're
still a
right.
found footage movie,
Yeah, why are
why
they
are
playing
we
background music?
overproducing and adding backing tracks that aren't like they're definitely not within the haunt?
Oh, it was such a joke. And I was like, okay, well, if this is like the last movie, I know it wasn't like the last movie, but they thought it was because
Yeah.
it had been several years until they made a different one.
Hmm.
So,
I mean,
you
they
know,
for what they did, they set the bar high for themselves with the first movie.
yes.
So if you're looking at, I think a lot of reviews talk about diminishing returns. A lot of the Reddit or subreddits talk about that. Like by the time you get to the third one, you're running out of ideas. You're in the same place. There's only so many scares you can do in that environment before you have to repeat them. And they started repeating them midways through the second or through the first movie. So the second and third, you're just changing the characters out. And I thought
Yeah.
the practical effects were awful. The scar on
Oh,
Russell
I
Wind's
forgot.
face that
Yeah,
supposedly happened
that was awful.
9+ years ago was still raised like a half inch. And it was a huge gap in the scar. Like, I
It
don't.
was so bad. Like
Even a fresh scar.
if you had to live with that, like that sucks. I would go to a plastic surgeon
Yeah,
to
because he
fix
was
that.
also a millionaire billionaire.
Right.
And couldn't pay for. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he was annoying. I did not like him at all.
His character was not my least favorite.
Who was your least favorite?
You know, I don't know that I could decide. I don't like Andrew Tully.
Who's that? Oh,
He's
the
the old guy that was in the second and the third one. He was like the main character at the end of the two, and one of the main ones in this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just out of it.
So the only time I think I really got scared in this one, so this one showed a lot more of what was antagonizing them, like the hooded creatures, the hooded people. There was probably 10 minutes where you just saw these hooded, cloaked figures running around. And
Did I miss that?
it was at the very end. It was when, yeah, it was at the very end, and they're like they've unleashed the portal or the
yes.
gateway, the lake of fire, and now these black cloaked figures are just running around. And there's a ton of them.
Yeah,
So it
that's
just lost its magic because now I know what I'm running from. They look like a bunch of Hogwarts students in the rain, just running around. So, no, I didn't really like this one. The only time I got a little unnerved was there was a scene in their haunted house or in their show, Insomnia, that was supposed to be heaven.
Wait. This is Lake of Fire.
Yeah. What movie did you think we were on? You talked about this one.
Wait a
You gave the
second.
whole overview.
You're right. I
Yeah.
did.
Okay. So,
Sorry, I thought we were still in the second one.
No.
I'm
This is
tired.
even worse.
Okay, so
So
keep
there's
going with
a
that.
there's a scene that's supposed to resemble heaven, and Russell Wind's
Yeah.
version of heaven is let's throw up a bunch of white sheets and put white mannequins in white cloaks.
Right.
And in
I
one
guess
of the
he
scenes,
thought it looked like angels or something.
so I kept looking at the mannequins trying to figure out if any of them were going to be people, and they all had shiny faces, like shiny hands, so you could tell they were just mannequins.
Mm-hmm.
But in one of the scenes, one of the mannequins actually turns around
I remember that.
and she has, it's almost like raccoon eyes.
Yeah.
Like the blackout
Blackhead.
eyes,
Mm-hmm.
which is the same face that the hooded figures have. I don't know if you recognize the resemblance.
Oh no, I
Because
thought
you got
the
to see their
hooded.
face pretty well.
I thought the hooded figures just looked like demons.
I think they had different ones.
Oh.
But one thing that was common was the blacked out, like, ring around the eyes.
Yeah, that was pretty freaky.
It was, but it wasn't scary. I don't feel like any of this was scary to me.
No.
You got to see a full view of what's in the basement, and it's this CGI portal to hell.
That was
with
so
fake
terrible.
fire.
That was bad.
And
yeah, like this was a joke.
like this whole, all the characters that were supposed to scare you are scarier when you can't see them moving. But the second they're moving, they're just things. They're just
Right.
people to me. So this lost a lot of the magic of what it was going for to
But
me.
it gets better.
It did get a little better
Yeah,
in the fourth movie.
it did. I actually really liked the fourth movie.
It was alright. It was better than 3. So, the fourth one is Hell House LLC Origins, The Carmichael Manor. They made reference to this in the first movie.
They did,
And
yeah.
something the director likes to do in all of these movies is lay little breadcrumbs so
Mm-hmm.
that he can always take and go, yeah, I want to do a backstory on that. Boop.
Which is smart. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
most-
it leaves room for whatever you want to do if you want to stay in the universe, but do kind of side stories.
And this came out in 2023.
Yep, in October.
Yep. Like, I think,
Straight to streaming.
right.
to Shudder
during Halloween.
exclusively.
Yeah.
Was not supposed to be.
How did we miss that?
I saw it. You didn't. We didn't watch Hell House 3, so
Oh, okay.
we were kind of out of it.
Oh, so this is the second time you've seen that?
What?
This movie?
No.
You said you saw it.
I saw that it had come out.
Oh,
But I didn't
okay.
actually sit down and watch it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was supposed to have a theatrical release in theaters. And I have a fun fact about why that didn't happen.
Okay, read the overview.
So the overview is a group of cold case investigators stay at the Carmichael Manor. After 4 nights, the group was never heard from again. What is discovered on their footage is even more disturbing than anything found on the Hell House tapes.
Agreed with that.
Okay.
I don't know. This one scared
So
me.
what was the IMDb on this one?
6.2.
Okay, I gave it a 4 out
What?
of 10.
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
We-
I really liked this one.
So are you ranking this in all compared to the first one? Or are you ranking it across horror movies in general?
I guess across horror movies in general.
And you gave this an 8?
Yeah, I really liked it.
How many Paranormal Activity movies did you give an 8? Or would you have?
None of them really. I like this
What?
better than Paranormal Activity. It
You're
just, it was
ridiculous.
creepier to me. I think it's because of the clowns, honestly.
So I thought this was a better story. I liked that we got the backstory of it. It was better acting for sure.
Yes.
But
And the cinematography was actually really good. So,
if I'm gonna watch found footage, I don't want to watch something that's been overly produced. I didn't like
Yeah, that's
Paranormal
true.
Activity Next of Kin
yeah.
because I made the comment then. I felt like you reach a level of if you're gonna stay in found footage, there should be a threshold of maximum production quality
Okay.
in effects, in cinematography, and all of that. In this one, it just felt overly produced. It had backing music, it had better acting. The
Yeah.
scenes felt fresher, but it didn't feel
It just
like
felt
found
more,
footage
well,
anymore.
it felt more modern because of the timing
I
when
felt
it
like
came
it
out.
was in a completely different category. You're not found
Yeah.
footage. You're just telling a theatrical story, and which is fine.
That or more like a documentary type. Not even, I guess.
Not even a documentary.
Well, it was half documentary because they were talking about the found
I mean,
footage
they've
story.
done that
Every single
in
one.
all of them. They've gotten like side interviews. Which one of the guys? I don't have his name written, but he always every scene that came up with him, he reminds me of. Oh my gosh, what's his name? I'm excited to see him. He runs Stiltby Studios. I watch his YouTube all the time. Alan Hops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he looks and reminds me of Alan Hops, which is absolutely a hero of mine.
So I'm sure if I had watched this franchise when it first came out, I would be curious about like the origins and
Sure.
but also very hesitant because of how bad the other ones were. But I was honestly more scared in this one than the first one because there were just so many creepy like
See, there was only
scenes.
two scenes that really got to me, and one of them wasn't really scary. It was just eerie, and it
Which
was when the girl peeked around the column in
oh,
the
I
hallway.
did not like that one. That one's scary. That was like the first one. I was like,
But she
oh
didn't do anything. Like, she didn't come at you. She didn't run.
no, that's creepy.
Every time I talk, I can see my breath.
I know it's super
Sorry, it
cold in
keeps
this house.
distracting me. So the only one that really got to me like a good jump scare
Hmm.
was near the end when one of them is filming themselves. They're alone in the bedroom,
Hmm.
and there's a dead girl in the bed,
Oh
and she doesn't
yeah,
just stay there. For one of the first few times in the whole franchise, she lunges at the camera,
yeah.
and that one got to me.
Another one that I did not like was um when the girl is doing a video chat with her boss on her
Ooh,
laptop.
that was good
And
with the girl on the side.
yeah, but I didn't like the part where it was like she was flipping through because she was like a realtor or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah,
And she was flipping through the pictures and showing her boss, like, oh, this is the listing or whatever. And then the listing came up as Carmichael Manor, and she was like,
yeah,
wait a second, this is the house I'm in right now.
yeah.
And like she kept clicking it, and then all of a sudden it was like taking pictures like as she goes up the stairs and took a picture of her on the computer. Oh my god, that was freaky for
That
me.
was
And I
cool.
was like, oh, that's such a good scene to add into.
Yeah,
But yeah, the other thing I didn't like was all of the clowns. Like,
yeah, and that's fair. I
yeah,
thought
they
that
were
I
really
liked that we
heavy on the
got their
clowns.
backstory,
Yes, but they
and
were
it
really
made
heavy on this.
sense.
And I feel like now I'm like it just reminded me of why I dislike them. So maybe my fear is coming back.
Maybe, hopefully, we'll capitalize on that.
Oh, great.
All right. Do you have anything else on the fourth movie before we go to trivia and fun facts?
No, other than I just really like how it tied the story up together at the end, and it made a lot more sense after seeing the film and knowing why Abaddon was linked to Carmichael Manor.
Yeah.
So, without giving any spoilers, because I know a lot of people probably haven't seen these movies, and I want you to go watch them because they're they're
They're good enough
entertaining.
to
They're
watch.
good enough to watch. Yeah,
It would take you about 6 hours to watch all four. They're all about an hour and a half
yeah,
each.
they're not bad. So,
No. A lot easier than sitting through 7 paranormal activity movies.
yes, a lot easier.
So I have a really, again, just like with paranormal activity, I went through a bit of a rabbit trail deep dive because I
Wonderful.
got hooked on one line from the
Hmm.
first movie, and I thought, I'm going to learn more about that.
So I only have like a couple of trivia, and then I have like one fun fact.
Okay. I have a new section I want to do at the end after your trivia and fun facts and stuff. So do you want me to go down my rabbit trail first, or do you want to start light?
So we'll start light,
Okay.
and then we'll go on the. Well,
We'll
I don't
put the
know.
heavy part in the middle. How about that?
Okay, so my trivia isn't really like questions. It's more like, did you know?
All right, that's fair.
Okay, so in the first movie, after one of the scares, Paul runs out of the strobe light room and throws up.
That was
That
real.
was real and not scripted. The
Yeah.
actor threw up for real on camera.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But it doesn't say like if it was like out of a specific reason or if he just
I
did it
don't.
because he was like, oh, I could throw up on command.
Who can throw up on command rather other than sticking your finger down your throat? I don't know. That's
I don't
weird.
know. I can't do it.
I don't know. Maybe he was hungover or something, or
It's possible.
I
All
don't-
the strobe lights,
oh, yeah.
probably.
Maybe he was about to have a seizure or something.
Maybe.
So yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Another one was the film, which, and we'll go into more detail about this at the end. So the film was actually shot at a real haunted house attraction in Layton, Pennsylvania, called at the time The Haunting at the Waldorf Hotel. And this haunt did take over an abandoned hotel just like in the movie.
What?
Hmm.
Would you go there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot of cool stuff to share with you about that.
Okay.
So,
All right, then I will go into my deep dive.
okay.
So, in the first movie, I believe Alex says something about he's describing Andrew Tully, and unless I imagined it, I wrote down the quote where he compares him to being a latter day Dante. Do you know what that means?
So,
Did you? I swear, if you did the same rabbit trail that I did,
okay, so not really.
what do you have on this?
So Russell is like, sorry, excuse me. It said in the bar scene, there are several parallels. This is for the third movie, not the first movie.
Yeah,
There are several parallels to the Last Supper of the Christian faith.
has nothing to do with Dante.
I know that, but I'm
Well, not
curious
nothing,
to.
but
Well, yeah, but okay. How about you go through yours and
okay. So, do you know anything about Dante? Have you heard of Dante?
Dante's Inferno?
Yes. So that's the only thing I had heard.
Okay.
So that's where my mind went, and I went, what is Dante's Inferno? I've heard of it. I know roughly from the Da Vinci Code. It has something to do with hell and a certain amount of rings or layers. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I looked it up, and it is Dante. I'm gonna butcher this last name. Alighieri. I don't know.
Allegra?
Maybe. So he's an Italian poet, writer, and philosopher. He lived from 1265 to 1321.
Jeez, that was forever ago.
It was a couple hundred years. And he wrote a book called The Divine Comedy. I don't know why it was called that. I didn't do enough research to figure it out. But in Divine Comedy, there are 3 books. One dedicated to purgatory, one dedicated to hell, one dedicated to heaven. Sorry,
Okay.
I keep stumbling over that word.
Okay.
So the one for hell is Inferno, which is Italian for hell, allegedly. I think that's
yeah,
accurate. That's what Wikipedia says.
That makes sense.
So in this book, he describes hell as being 9 concentric circles of torment within the earth. So like at the center of the earth, putting Satan at the very center of the core of the earth.
Honestly, I think the earth, like right now, what we're in is hell.
Could be.
Some form of it.
Yeah, we're just in the outermost layer. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Personally.
That took me to a deep dive of what are the 9 circles of hell. And they are roughly kind of tied to the 7 deadly sins with a couple more thrown in and separated.
Okay.
So the outermost circle is considered limbo, and it contains the unbaptized and virtuous pagans where maybe they're not sinful enough to warrant damnation. They also didn't accept Christ.
Okay.
So that's kind of the purgatory, as purgatory as this book gets.
Yeah.
In the second circle is lust. Next one down is gluttony. 4th circle is greed. Next one down is wrath. The 6th circle is heresy. The 7th circle is violence. And what I thought was interesting for this one was within the 7th circle, there are 3 different rings to kind of house different types of violence. So one is violence against neighbors or people you know. Another is violence against God, art, and nature. And then there's a separated one all about violence against yourself. So that's predominantly suicide.
Right.
I thought that was interesting, kind of stuck out to me. The next circle down, the 8th circle, is fraud. And then the innermost circle is treachery, which is where the devil lives due to the ultimate sin being personal treachery against God. And yeah, so that was kind of a heavier deep dive, but it was interesting. And I learned a lot and debating whether it's a book worth reading. Mainly because it feels balanced in terms of having a whole book on hell, heaven, and purgatory. And it's made as like a dream sequence.
As long as it's not all about hell, then I think you're fine.
A third of it is.
Well,
but it's not I don't know if it's theologically based at all. My guess would be probably not. But I didn't do that much of a deep dive to figure out.
Gotcha.
But it seems interesting.
And so who did you say that it was Dante is?
Dante was loosely tied to Andrew Tully.
Andrew Tully. Okay, not Russell.
In terms of in the book, I don't believe Dante necessarily made a portal. I don't think that was the premise. But I think Andrew Tully was interested in learning.
You can hear the
train.
The train.
Yeah.
That's so
I think
cool.
Andrew Tully and Dante were both interested in learning about kind of the
Sorry, guys.
kind of the afterlife.
My mic picks
Type
up
of thing.
like everything.
Yeah, and you're like 3 feet away from it.
I am. I'm really far.
All right. So what other fun facts do you have? I've got 7 other fun facts, and
Oh,
then another
Lord. Okay,
section
let me
for you.
finish mine so then you can go into yours. And then I'll go into my rabbit trail.
Okay.
So going back to what I was saying, so in the third movie, in the bar scene, there are several parallels to the Last Supper of the Christian faith, which foreshadow Russell's divine nature. Russell orders bread and wine, which is promptly eaten by the dozen cast and crew members. So remember that part where he like comes in late and
I did not catch that at all.
yeah. So he orders bread and wine, which is obviously, and the crew members are stand-ins for Jesus's disciples. This scene is also their final dinner before opening night, or their Last Supper, which also happens to precede an event where Russell sacrifices himself to save all of mankind. And yet another parallel
Well,
to
there's
Christ,
the spoiler.
it is revealed at the end that Russell died several years prior and came back to life miraculously, or was resurrected. So I thought that was really interesting. Oh yeah, sorry, spoiler alert.
It's
but
interesting, but I didn't like the resolution. I felt like
No.
to me, it was a wee bit sacrilegious.
I agree. Very sacrilegious. I did not like that part, but
Especially because it was a millionaire kind of,
right.
I don't know. It didn't sit right with me.
No, it didn't feel God-like.
It didn't
for
feel
God.
genuine. It didn't feel...
Right.
It felt like if you wanted to take all the fun bits of religion
Yeah.
and boil them down and take off all the stuff that mattered, but you still wanted to feel really good about it, that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
It just didn't
Nobody
have
makes
much
fun of God.
substance.
You should not do that. But I thought it was. I'm not saying it was
It's
like
super
amazing,
interesting,
but I'm
the
saying it
ties
was
and the
interesting.
allegory that they...
Yeah.
Allegory? Yeah.
A little.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Yeah. But anyways, that's why I did not like his character, because he like tried to think of himself as like God and like Jesus, and
Looking back, I see a lot more of that in his personality, and I agree.
yeah, did not like that. Because Christ is Christ and nobody can replace that.
Facts.
Facts. So also in the third movie, so this was funny. So this is a grammar error. Just before some images are shown, the text is displayed.
I pointed this out to you.
Really?
Yeah,
I guess I missed that.
we talked about it. And I said, did you catch that? And you said, yeah. And I said, I wonder who let that slide.
Okay, well, I think I have dementia or something.
We've just watched all 4 of these in like the last 4 days.
You know, my mind is just consumed with other
Glad we
things.
didn't wait to record this.
So, not hashtag. What am I saying hashtag for? Jesus. Oh, sorry, Lord. Quote, the following images where, like WHERE, pulled from Isabel's social media, end quote. So this sentence should state were, WERE, and not where.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so somebody screwed that up.
Yep.
But, yeah. Okay, so those are all my
What?
trivia fun facts.
All right, so I'll start with the... All right, do you know who played the possessed clown mannequin? Like, who was inside the suit?
Yeah, I read that it was the director.
Nope.
No?
Producer.
Oh, I was
Joe
close.
Bandelli. I thought it was the director, too, and I wrote that down. And then I had to delete it from my notes because, like, that's not actually right. It's
Oh.
the producer.
Yeah, I guess they couldn't find
He
more
also
actors.
played Jonathan the cameraman at the end of the first movie, which was I don't know, he was one of the cameramen for one of the guests. He wasn't like a investigator
Oh, I
or
see what you
anything.
mean. Yeah.
And also Brock's cameraman, Malcolm, the one that gets hanged with him, that is also Joe Bandelli, I believe. Yep, so we got 3 acting credits for this. That was interesting. Do you know what Abaddon means, or where it is derived from? What language?
That is a good question.
It is a good question. Do you have a good answer?
No. Abaddon. Let me think about it for a second. Give me some time. Abaddon.
I'll come back to it.
Abaddon.
Do you know where the director, Stephen Cognetti, is from? He is from
New York.
He's from no. He's from a city where one of our favorite TV shows is placed.
Scranton.
He is. He's from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
That's so cool.
The house from the fourth movie is only about 25 minutes from his house, and he never knew it existed.
Well, it's close to New York.
Yeah, kind of. All right, any guesses on Abaddon?
Is it? It's not Latin, is it?
No. Well, I mean, it might be, but not according to my notes.
Okay.
So,
No,
it is
I don't.
Hebrew, meaning a place of destruction, or
Ooh.
destruction, disaster, stuff like that.
That's interesting.
Similar to the Greek word Apollyon, Apollyon. Probably saying that wrong, but it is what it is. So Abaddon is actually in the Bible. It's listed a few different places. Most commonly, it's listed in Revelation, and it is referring to a king of an army of locusts, or the angel of the abyss, tasked with overseeing, tormenting, but not killing those who are not marked with the seal of God.
Wow.
And
Somebody went into deep.
I did.
No, I'm talking about like
Oh.
the person who made this movie.
Yes, they did. It's also
You too, I guess.
referenced, and I don't remember if it was Abaddon or Apollyon. I think it was Apollyon, is referenced in John Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress, which we had to read
Bunyan.
in school.
It's a funny word. Bunyan.
According to an interview with the director on a new podcast I started listening to today called The Pod and the Pendulum, the director would love to have a follow-up movie focusing on the Rockland County Fair, which would tie in Margot from the fourth movie
Yeah.
and the clown's kind of start
Yeah, that would be really cool.
with the Carmichael brother. The director also has a new movie coming out.
Ooh.
It does not have a specific release date or platform yet, but the movie is completely finished, and they are working to the details of distribution, and it's called 825 Forest Road. The number is 825 Forest Road.
Okay.
The premise looked pretty good. I didn't write down the description.
I
But
do
you
not
can look
have
it up.
high hopes, but
I
I'll
do.
give him a chance.
Well, he ended on
I'll give him
4.
a fifth chance.
All right. So my last fun fact has to do with Taylor Swift, and I probably should have said that at the beginning of the episode to get people to keep listening till the end. But
Oh my gosh.
so the fourth movie is tied to Taylor Swift.
What?
Did you know that? Do you know why? I gave you a hint earlier.
Give me another hint.
Okay, I'll just re-say the hints. So this was the first Hell House movie that was supposed to get a theatrical release.
Oh.
Was supposed to come out in October of 2023.
What, like The Exorcist? It was supposed to come out
Exactly like
on
The
the
Exorcist.
13th.
I don't know when it was supposed to come out, but they essentially blocked all of October for Taylor Swift's Eras movie.
As they should.
Disagree. But because of that, the small, tiny little theater that his movie was supposed to come out on, like the small franchise or like network of theaters. So
Yeah.
she predominantly released to AMC. And then she was like, I'm going to go everywhere. So they released it to all the smaller theaters as well. So he got a call and he was like, hey, I got bad news. Like, you're getting bumped for your theatrical release by
Dang,
Taylor Swift. And he
Taylor.
was like, are you kidding me? And the girl that played Margot in the fourth movie actually wrote a letter to Taylor Swift telling
Really?
her. I don't know if it was a mean letter or not. Probably wasn't. But it was basically like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the first theatrical release of the franchise.
Yeah.
And it couldn't happen. So,
I mean, to be
Instead-
fair, Taylor doesn't make all of her decisions. Okay, she has a huge team of people.
and they care
Who-
nothing about the horror industry because, just like you
No.
said, Exorcist believer, Jason Blum from Blumhouse Productions even tweeted and was like, fine, I give up. You win. I'll move our opening date. And he did. He tweeted that. That's a public thing you can look up.
Everybody likes Taylor Swift.
So because of that, Shudder made an agreement with this fourth movie to do a streaming-only exclusive release. So it never hit theaters. Thanks, Taylor Swift.
Thank you,
jerk.
Taylor, for your... Hey, be nice.
Would you like to hear the lyrics to the piano jingle theme that they said in the
Are
fourth
you going to
movie?
sing it?
I'm not, because I don't remember how to sing it on the tune, or with the tune.
Okay.
But the words are, something's coming, cold the nightfall. All things die and never come back. Throw the ashes, grasp your crosses. Pray to him, you'll never come back. Life's a circle full of darkness. Stay with him and never come back.
I could
I
take this
didn't deep
two
dive
ways.
into the lyrics. I just wrote them down and
Let me see.
moved
Hold on.
right
Let me
on.
see them. I have to look at them to. Okay, so I could. I'm looking at this.
For the first
Grasp,
time.
grasp your crosses. Pray to
Hmm.
him. You'll never come back. So
So I
obviously,
don't
this
know.
is to Dante or whatever the.
I don't know.
But this could also be an enlightening song.
Sure. Yeah.
So because we're trying to take all this darkness and turn it into light, right?
Yeah.
So if you think about it, that could be tied into a really promising tune.
Yeah. Maybe don't say this as your late night prayer,
No.
but yeah. So we have a little more time. We have like 3.5 minutes.
Okay,
So
yeah, I'm good.
I have 4 questions for
Oh
you.
my gosh, when am I gonna go down my rabbit
All right,
trail?
fine. Go down your rabbit trail, and then I have 4 would you rather questions.
Okay.
Real like spout out the answers, but I'll wait.
Cool.
You do
No, no,
your
no.
thing.
That's fine. We'll end with Would You Rather. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the real haunted house that Abaddon Hotel was filmed at. It's called the Wow.
Waldorf.
Waldorf. Waldorf Estate of Fear in Layton, Pennsylvania. And from their website, it says the Waldorf Estate of Fear has been recognized as one of the top 10 hottest haunts, I can't talk, in the United States and in Pennsylvania.
That's weird because it's not even in like Florida or Arizona or anything, or Texas.
What?
Isn't that weird? You said it's one of the hottest haunts. That's not a good thing.
It means
Like
the coolest haunt.
it's got Riz.
Yeah, it's got Riz. Dark spirits and evil lurk around every corner. Do you think you're brave enough to experience one of the most scary haunted attractions in America and make it out alive?
Hope so. Do they go through the basement?
So I'm not really sure. So on this, I'm on their website and it says
Did
I've
you do a
wandered into the
shallow
void.
dive?
I've wandered into the void.
Wondered or wandered?
So they have 3 haunts called the Legend, the Midway Massacre,
Sorry, that's my fingers
and
popping.
so their attractions are the haunting. Okay, said that.
Okay.
Terror in the Corn,
Okay.
Infection, Zombie Escape Room. So they have like little
Like
attractions.
little midway.
Yeah, kind of like 13th floor.
Okay, that's
But
cool.
but yeah, and they actually have a I'm opening up there about I really want to read this, but it's really long. Should I read it?
I would just link it.
Okay, I'll link it, but it's the legend of the I can't say that.
Waldorf.
Waldorf. I want to say Wardolf or whatever, but
I don't even know what that word is.
I don't know. But yeah, it gives you a little bit of story about the back or what happened at the Waldorf estate. So they have a special event coming up actually in May of this year. It's called Halfway to Halloween.
Cool.
And it is an experience of Hell House. So it says, brace yourself, Hell House fans. Get ready for the most thrilling event of the year that will leave you breathless and begging for more. Join us for Halfway to Halloween extravaganza on May 4th from 5 p.m. to midnight or 3 a.m. for the daring paranormal enthusiast. You get a glimpse of behind the terrifying scenes of the iconic Abaddon Hotel and immerse yourself in a spine-chilling journey that will test your courage like never before. Calling all horror enthusiasts, this exclusive event is your golden ticket to an unforgettable experience in the twisted world of Hell House. Don't miss the chance to meet some of the cast of the movie as they guide you through a lights-on, behind-the-scenes tour revealing the secrets and horrors that await within the infamous Abaddon Hotel. And then you also get to engage in a Q&A session with Stephen Cognetti. Ask him anything your curious minds desire as he unveils the inspiration and sinister stories that brought Hell House to life. And then you can also experience the heart-pounding Escape Hell House adventure, where you get to enter the Abaddon Hotel at your own risk and feel your pulse quicken
No,
as you face the
thank
terror that
you.
unfolds in the dark. Will you have what it takes to survive the
No,
horrors? You wouldn't do that?
no,
Come on.
no. We've mentioned it in a weird way before. Because of a wonderful company called Intense Escape in Tampa, Florida. No, no, thank you. Escape rooms, great. Haunted houses, great. I will not mix the two again.
I don't
I
think
can't
it's
do
a,
it.
I don't think I guess it's an escape. I don't know if
I
it's
don't
an
want to
escape
do an
room.
extreme haunt. I don't want to do a horror. No. Nope. Haunted houses, that's my limit. I will design and build and attend.
I think I could do that. So there
You
also
can do that
have.
by yourself and run away from the clowns.
Oh yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Because
No,
you
I don't
know
want to go in
they're
there by
what's the
myself.
whole premise of that is going to be you're going to have to go to the basement and retrieve something that probably the clown is holding. And it's probably going to be like two real people and one prop clown. And of course, they're going to storm at you as soon as you get down there. No, I've already played this out in my head. And I can't run fast enough, let alone like stairs. No, I will break.
Oh my gosh.
I will break multiple bones in this experience if I did that. I know my
Honestly,
limits.
nothing
And it's
scares
that.
me anymore.
Oh yeah, nothing scares you more. Go do that and then come back and you tell me how it went because I'm not doing it.
Honestly, what's the worst thing that could happen? I could die.
Nah,
That's not even
that's
the worst
pretty.
thing.
It's pretty peaceful.
Exactly. So, also they have a PARA normal investigation. Paranormal
Why did they
investigation.
separate it?
I don't know. It just says P.A.R.A normal. I guess it stands for something. I don't know. Become a part of a real life ghost hunt. Navigate through the sinister corridors of the Abaddon Hotel, armed with ghost hunting equipment and guided by professional experts.
I could do that as long as there's not like actors waiting to scare you behind stuff on purpose
Yeah,
during your like low key thing.
I guess. So back in October, they had a Escape Hell House 30 minutes event.
Yeah. How'd
Yeah.
that go?
I don't know. I didn't go.
I love how all of these, when we talked about we're going to do this franchise, we thought we're not going to have more than like 20 minutes to talk about it. And here we are, over an hour again. So, do you have anything
Wait,
else?
I have one more thing.
Okay.
How much do you think this experience is?
Which part? You listed like a
Sorry,
bunch.
the halfway to Halloween Abaddon Hotel thing.
How long does it last?
From
Is it
5
like,
p.m. to midnight.
but you're not there, surely, for 7 hours.
You could be. They
It's
also
not like
have...
a walkthrough?
No, you can do like paranormal investigation. You can go
Oh,
through
so all
and
of that is included in this price.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
That seems weird. But
I mean,
they
I
seem
don't
like
know.
all separately ticketed events. But
I
maybe
hope not because it's expensive.
7 hours. You gotta pay for everybody. How big is the group? Does it
It
list
doesn't say.
anything? I don't know. I would pay for that. Probably 300 a person.
What? Okay, that's astronomical. It's
If you're getting all of that, you're getting the paranormal investigation from 12 to 3. You're
Let me
getting the
see.
escape room.
Oh, they use
You're
Haunt
getting the
Pay.
walkthrough. You're like, if you're actually getting all that and the interviews, like the panel discussion, if you're doing all of that,
Yeah.
$400 a person isn't that bad.
Okay, well,
That's the price to go
we
to a
should go
convention.
then because it's 150 person.
That's not bad. I still don't.
And they give you a $15 food voucher.
Do they sell the food?
Yeah, they're going to have fair food. Oh, fair food.
We pass a place called Fair Foods
We do.
on the way to Orlando.
Okay, we're going into a rabbit trail.
right,
Anyways, take
so
me to
I've got-
Pennsylvania in May.
We'll consider it.
Okay.
All right, I got 4 would you rathers, and you got to think about it real quick.
Okay.
Would you rather
No.
stay overnight in a documented violent haunted location, or
Violent?
Violent,
What do you
like-
mean?
think like Conjuring House on its worst day, like a violent
Oh,
entity,
like they could like, oh yeah.
not like people, like alive people,
Oh,
like.
okay.
Jeez, this is a very basic question. So, option 1: stay overnight in a documented violent haunted location, or go through an extreme haunted house for an hour.
I would stay overnight.
Overnight in the.
So like
So
I
you
would
would rather deal with demonic possession or oppression versus lunatics for an hour.
Okay, when you put it that
Yeah, I
way,
mean, I don't know. You do you, boo.
was that your stomach?
I don't know if I'm hungry or
You need
not.
some
All right, so you're
nuggets.
sticking with violent haunted location.
That was my gut
All
reaction.
right,
So
well, I'll go
listen,
through the extreme
I
haunted
I will have
house.
the armor of God on me. I can do it. F you, Satan.
Yeah, that's gonna go real well. When you alternate that with the Lord's Prayer, I'm sure they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is perfect. Now we can't go after her. She's 50-50 on our side." All right, so
Whatever.
second question: would you rather, in a haunted location, not just in general, see what's attacking you or haunting you, or would you rather it be invisible?
Ooh. Um, I would probably rather it be invisible.
Me too. Even though I think it being invisible would be even scarier,
Yeah.
I still would choose that
Right.
because seeing mist go through the air doesn't scare me as much as a demonic face running
Right.
at me.
Right.
Like, I don't want to know they're running. So if they can wear like slippers and run on sand, I'll be cool. But if they're
Or
on
like
hardwood floors
powder.
with boots running at me, I don't
Yeah.
like it. I don't like footsteps
Don't
like
like
that.
that. No,
So,
no, no, no.
um, uh, this is a long one. I don't even remember what I was trying to write. Oh, if you were a guest on year one of Hell House, or night one,
Night one. They didn't even
you
get.
only heard what was on the news, didn't know the specifics of what happened. You obviously didn't watch the documentary. You don't know of the ins and outs.
Right. You're there for the first time ever.
But then, 8 years later, Insomnia opens. Do you go back and be like, I didn't get to go to Hell House. I want to know. Like, it's really cool. They had a haunt. I didn't get to go to it. There was an issue. Would you go to Insomnia and be like, I'm going to be first in line. We're going.
So is this after I watched, like, I knew what happened, or I
No.
didn't know what happened at all?
Verbatim, I just said you only heard what was on the news and didn't know the specifics of what happened.
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, because I'm dumb. But, like, if I knew that
I
people
mean,
were
you're not going to
getting
leap straight to, it's
demonic
actually haunted.
possession.
It's being, right. You're not going to go to that. So, all right, we're on the same page.
Okay.
Last one. How long do you stay in a house that you think is haunted? Do you wait until the presence seems to be violent? Or do you feel it out and be like, so like, in example, for the fourth movie, we talked about the girl peeking around the column.
Yeah.
Do you leave then? Or do you
Yes.
go, I don't know that this is a violent presence. Maybe I'm going to try to talk to her. What do you, when is your
Okay.
threshold of, this is bad, I need to get out? Is
I
it a
would
feeling?
kind of, yeah, I would kind of listen to my gut, probably. I'd be
What
like,
if your gut just went,
well,
because
then
you're
I'd
hungry?
probably have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so after you go to the bathroom, then what does your gut say?
Well, honestly, if I were in that situation,
hmm
it depends why I was there, for one.
You bought the house.
I bought the
You
house?
bought the house.
Oh, okay.
You're not just visiting, you're not breaking in, you're not
That's
staying.
that's different because I've invested in this property now, and
Mhm.
now, so
So now you're in Conjuring. Like you're in the Rhode Island house.
okay, I would probably wait until I would probably try to. I don't know. I
Would
wouldn't.
you try to talk to it?
No, I would not try to communicate with it. I
What's
would.
your limit of communicating with it? Is it spirit box? Is it asking questions? Or is Ouija board like
Oh no, 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 no,
just
no.
shy of Ouija board?
Honestly, I would just start praying and
Okay.
just putting the Lord's Prayer in the house. I would anoint my house with oil.
Okay.
I would do all of these things. I would say, hey, if you're a. Because I'm right now, I'm in a very like spiritual warfare place, and I
Mhm.
don't know
Fair.
exactly like if ghosts are real or not. Like I'm still on that teetering thing,
Yeah.
Because
I think
I
we're
just
both
don't.
on
Yeah. So
not knowing. And I
right.
don't know that we'll ever have that answer,
I know.
honestly, but
And that's fine, but like I don't know. I'm like right now I want more Jesus in my life, and so I probably wouldn't stay. I don't know. I don't
alright.
know. It
So what if
depends.
you're just investigating? Like you're Margot, you're there for
Oh,
5
yeah.
days.
Yeah, if I was there, I would keep investigating until I felt like it was a danger to myself or others.
Okay, and that's
And then I
mostly
would leave.
feeling based, or if they
Yes.
really act out.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
just curious.
What about
That's
you?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't
that's a
know
hard
because I've
question.
never. I mean, I'm still obviously very much a skeptic when it comes to ghost
Mm-hmm.
hunting and stuff like that
Yeah.
because I've never had that personal experience. I've had
Right.
one weird supernatural experience happen to me, and I was super young, so
Mm-hmm.
it's really easy for me to manipulate the details of what do I actually remember
Yeah.
versus what really
So,
happened.
so personally, I have played with a Ouija board before. I was very young. I used to do like light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Hmm.
I did a lot of the Bloody Mary stuff with my
I did
friends.
that once.
So I was I was I was taking a dark turn, wasn't I?
Yeah.
And so I think that has stayed with me for a
Do
long
you think it
time.
still oppresses you in certain aspects?
Yes. And
Okay.
I'm thinking that I don't know. I'm not going to get too much into detail about it, but I do not want to deal with those things any
Fair.
longer.
Yeah. I
Like
don't think
I'm
anybody would
even
actively want to.
no, and I'm not even like I'm honestly skeptic of us going to do haunted stuff. Like I really want to research it before I go.
You're talking about haunted attractions
No, no,
or
no, no.
like paranormal
Paranormal
investigations?
investigations.
Okay.
Stuff that if something could attack me or
Mm-hmm.
make me do stuff I don't want to do,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm
So
guarded right now. I need to
I think this
guard
is
myself.
obviously a rabbit hole we didn't intend to get on,
Yeah, sorry.
and that we've talked about a lot more in depth in personal conversations. But I think it's important to mention that on that note, if you're looking at it purely biblically,
Mhm.
that from all the mentors I've talked to, it seems unlikely, and I guess I would throw out the word impossible, for Christians, true Christians that
Mhm.
believe that have that relationship with Christ.
Mhm.
Um, I believe it's impossible for them to be possessed by demons. I think the
Yes.
Bible backs that up
I'm
pretty
not being
well.
scared. I'm not scared of being possessed because I know that's probably not going to happen.
So, are you more
I'm
scared of being oppressed?
yes,
So
because
to
I've already
me,
been oppressed.
that's fair. I don't, to me, in my opinion, I don't think going into a paranormal or haunted location is going to amp it up for me. Like I'm already
Oh.
oppressed in the house.
Yep.
So my thoughts, I don't know that I can go to a haunted location and it get any worse than my like inner deepest thoughts. They scare me
I
bad
would
enough.
agree. I would agree with that. Yeah.
So I guess to me worst case scenario is death and that death doesn't really scare me.
No, not anymore. Doesn't for me.
So I think to me I don't feel like it's taking on any unnecessary burden.
Mm.
I think it's more of a mission of truth seeking and fact finding.
Yeah, and
And
I just
I'm on the same page with you of I don't know
yeah.
how much communication is good or bad. I know there's biblical references for both of those.
Hmm.
Um, I haven't done the deep dive theology look at it to really form my own opinion.
Honestly, I think it's more of like a personal thing to me because God doesn't want us to, like, He wants us to be followers of Him, and He wants us to be involved in, like, godly things.
I
And
agree.
so when you put your interest in things like that, it's going to oppress you more to want ungodly things. Does
I
that make
think
sense?
it does. And I think to me, I look at it a little differently because I don't look at it as me putting my trust into those things. I look at it as really no more than reading a book about a topic.
Yeah.
You're learning about it, but I'm not putting it on a pedestal. I'm not making it an idol. I'm not making it a hobby that I take more seriously than reading scripture or
Right. And
praying
that's
or going to
something you
church
have
or
to
worshiping.
right, and that's
Right, you
something
have to
you have
make
to
that
make it
delineation.
every day.
But I think being aware of that and not pretending that it doesn't exist,
Hmm.
not pretending that people are in that realm and like that's their daily job. That's what they're into is paranormal investigations. I think the best thing that can come out of it is, Christian believers going into that. And when you're on that, you can have that conversation.
Right.
Like when we were at Grave
You can
Face.
put little seeds into people, and you can...
Yeah. Because just asking them at the end, hey, what is your belief? Like, I'm not trying to push you in any direction. I'm just curious. Like, you're around oddities all day long. Where does your mental state fall?
Right.
Like,
just have like a conversation with them, and it might lead to, well,
best case or worst case scenario, they go home and they go, huh, that was kind of weird. I wonder why they asked that.
Yeah, maybe they needed somebody to ask them that, and the wheels will turn. Yeah, planting a seed.
So I don't think being interested, like I don't think us being interested in haunted attractions or paranormal is a bad thing.
No, I don't think it is either.
As long as we understand.
Obviously, I'm sitting here talking about it.
Right.
So, but no, I'm just saying, like...
You may be the only Bible that people ever have.
Right. I know, and I've quoted that before. That's absolutely true.
And Jesus wasn't...
I'm still going to do that.
With all the Pharisees and church leaders.
No, he was friends with all the sinners.
Right.
So, yeah, and that's
I'm
who I want to be.
You should only have sinful friends.
No, but you could point them...
all sinners.
Correct. And you could point them to Jesus. Right. And so...
As best as you can. All you can do is lead them closer. You can't save them.
Right. You can lead them closer and you can plant seeds. Okay, so now this is a rabbit trail that you're probably going to have to edit out.
Nah, we're leaving it.
Okay, so what I was saying, going backwards, is that I've seen ghosts before. Like, physically, I've seen a ghost. I mean, I had, like, my grandma's house was haunted. Like, her, like, childhood home. Mm-hmm. So I've seen ghosts, and that's where I did the Ouija board. So, to me, I don't know if that's something I just want to delve into. Do you know what I mean? Because I just don't know if they're real or not. I don't know if ghosts are actually real.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know if they're, like, actual people spirits or they're demon spirits. And so that's what I'm trying to think about and kind of research a little bit.
Yeah. But
right now I'm focusing more on Jesus, so.
That's fair.
So I don't know where that, like, topic came from, but,
I think...
Thanks for allowing me to go over our time.
I don't know. We're in charge of our own time. What does it matter?
That's true.
People will either listen or they won't.
You mean you're going to pay me the same, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You get your $10 stipend for this episode.
Thank you.
All right. I think that's all we got. I don't know. Do you have anything else in your notes that you hid from me?
Nope. But I'm going to link the Waldorf Hotel. Oh yes, I did want to mention something.
I want to link the Pod and the Pendulum, the podcast I listen to, because they do a lot of horror movie reviews, and they actually have like an hour-long episode dedicated to each Hell House LLC movie.
Ooh,
which is insane. But now I know why. I don't know if they went on rabbit trails, but...
So, this is another fun fact.
Okay.
Well, not really a fun fact, but it's a fact. A lot of people seem to think that the Shanley Hotel, located in New York, is the base of the storyline for this movie. When I was reading reviews...
Are you saying Shanley or Stanley?
Shanley, like S-H-A-N.
Okay, so
Shanley.
not Overlook.
No, not Stanley. But I don't see why it would be. Sam and Colby has a video of them visiting the Shanley Hotel, and apparently it's super haunted. So I want to watch that and see kind of what it is about. But a lot of people are like, no, it's the Shanley Hotel, and people are like, no, it's not. So
you didn't mention what from the third movie Insomnia was based on.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't.
Nope.
I even looked at that trivia question, and I didn't paste it.
What was it called? Like, No More Sleep?
Yeah. I mean, that's what Insomnia is.
But there's, like, a real show.
Yeah, it's a theatrical show.
No More Sleep. This was...
No, Sleep No More.
Sleep No More. Whatever. I'm not dyslexic. I might be.
But, yeah, so...
Right,
I hope you guys enjoyed this tangent of a podcast.
Yeah, this went way longer than we anticipated.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, go watch those movies if you want.
Yeah, and tell us your thoughts. Give us some biblical references on whether we should or should not talk to spirits with personal stories. That would be really cool. I'd love
Okay.
to learn more, but
What other people think about
not
that?
just personal thoughts, but actual like
Biblical
yeah stuff
biblical
that can be backed
references.
up.
Yeah, for sure. All right, thanks guys. Like, subscribe and share this episode. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.